Well, this is the thing. I gave my thoughts and opinions on the whole prank calling Shedeur Sanders a little while ago, a couple days ago, and obviously that happened to Shedeur Sanders. It also happened to a couple other people during the draft. And then it also happened last year to Cooper DeJean. So this is not new, obviously, when it comes to prank calling draft picks. But it's definitely not a good thing. At the end of the day, if Jeff Albrecht's son never posted it online, there would have never really been a find. There would have never been a, situation here. We would have been saying, hey, Shedeur Sanders got prank called. Wow, that's awful. Whatever, and moved on. But because the very smart individual, Jeff Albrecht's son, which I just learned actually was 21 years old. So he's actually an adult man. It's not like this is a kid. When I heard son, you always think of like a kid. It's not a kid. It's actually an adult man. Decided to do that. Now his dad is going to get fined $100,000. So, just stupid stuff. Also, the Atlanta Falcons are getting fined $250,000. And again, if he just didn't post it online, we would have never knew who did it. And bam, it would have been like, okay, well, somebody prank called this guy. That's it. But now because he put it online and we could trace back who did it and he admitted to doing it, we can now say $350,000 the Falcons in some capacity will have to pay. Which I feel bad for his dad. I really do feel bad for his dad. I mean, that's a lot of money to have to pay because your 21-year-old son decides to prank call someone. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not against the idea of prank calling. And I know I kind of made it sound like I was in the first video. I'm against the idea of getting leaked information because the whole point of this is the number got leaked. Okay, the number got leaked from, a database where it looks like there was a database of all different prospects' numbers and information, and it was put like in a Dropbox type of concept, and that on Jeff Albrecht's iPad. That's how this all got leaked. And you got to be really careful. As a company, as a business, you cannot leak people's information. It's a very, very damning thing, and it will destroy you as a company. So you have to be very smart when you are participating in this type of stuff, and you have to make sure nothing gets leaked, right? So from that perspective, this is really bad. From the NFL perspective, it's also really bad that, you let a player's info get leaked. And based on what we understand, Shedeur Sanders had to change his number a couple times during the draft because of this stuff. Now, prank call wise, when I was a kid, we would prank call people, right? We'd prank call our friends, and we would say some crazy stuff. So I'm not against the idea of prank calling someone, but I do believe when you prank call someone, there is a line that you just don't pass, you don't cross, right? You can't go to a point where, again, what's happening here, you're taking away a great moment from an NFL prospect that worked their whole life to get to this point, and now you're taking away that special moment. And I understand, well, it's just a joke, it's whatever, but clearly it's not, because information was leaked that should not have been leaked. You don't know who Jeff Albrecht's son, you don't know who else he gave the number to. Now, obviously, the number got changed, thankfully, for Shedeur Sanders, but at the time, you don't know what, number, in theory, was passed around. You don't know who got it, who didn't get it. Again, it's just stuff like that should not be happening, right? If you have your friend's number and you know their number and you prank call them, I don't think that's a big deal. I think it's a whatever, you prank called your friend. They understand you have their number. You understand you have the number. It's a mutual whatever. Hey, maybe they get you back. Maybe they prank call you. Who cares, okay? But it's a different thing when you look at it in a business perspective, right? This is like a CEO prank calling their employees, or not even a CEO's son prank calling the employees of that business because he got their number from the CEO's phone. And now he's prank calling everyone and causing a disturbance, right? You can't do that. You really can't. It's like calling up, like the son calls up the employees and says, hey, you're all getting raises. You're getting like $50,000 raises, whatever. You can't do that. I understand it was all for fun and it was all for internet clout and, internet points, and he made the video so he can get some views and money. I understand that. And yeah, he's 21 years old, so he's going to make mistakes. I understand that. And I think there is definitely a situation where he'll learn from this and won't let this happen again. But at the end of the day, his dad now is going to cost him $100,000. The NFL is going to get looked at differently because they're continuously letting these NFL prospects' information leak. I think moving forward, if you are an NFL prospect, and this goes for pretty much every single one, make sure you go ahead and give a burner number. Like, get a burner phone and give a burner number when it comes to these situations. Because clearly your information is not protected and it can get leaked out to anybody. So it's a situation where it's not just Shedeur Sanders. It's also a situation we had with Cooper DeJean. We had 4 different other prospects that were prank called during this exact draft. And it happens every year. And clearly, it's all fun and games. But at the end of the day, there is a man out there, Jeff Albrecht, who has to pay $100,000 for this. The Falcons are going to have to pay $250,000 for this. So let's just be smart here moving forward. And again, if the son never posted a video and tried to get clout and views and money, none of this gets talked about. We're still talking about, someone prank called Shedeur Sanders and that was it. But this wasn't for like a funny haha joke type of thing. This was for clout, views, and money. And that's a situation where it's different too. When you prank call your friend, hey, I'm prank calling my buddy here. Not only do I have his number by his permission, but it's also not for clout, views, and money. I'm doing it out of just making a laugh, haha, whatever, right? But when you do it for clout, money, views, plus you're taking away a really, really important moment from someone, it just becomes effed up. Like, that's really what it is, just fluffed up at that point. So, again, like I said, I know everyone has their different opinions on this. It was just a joke. It was just to be funny. I understand that. But now the joke went too far, and $100,000 is being paid. Tell me down below your thoughts, opinions. See you guys next one. Peace.